Hello, everyone, and welcome to League Review. I'm your host, William, and today we are doing the LCK, and we're almost on time for once. We're starting at 10:10 today, so not bad. This week we had a solid 6-2 performance in our picks. We lost one that obviously everyone lost with that SKT one, and I had Genji over the Griffin, so those were two unfortunate losses. Outside of that, we picked pretty good. I think I considered it a semi-mini upset between the Freak over Genji, and seeing that one go 2-1, I was very happy about. And we were actually pretty good on game picks for the most part as well. So let's before we do that, let's take a look at the standings because Korea is crazy. And if you only watch Korea, we will be doing the this week, and then depending on what I see here from summer playoffs that we're going to check now, yes, we are also going to be doing some playoffs for all of the playoff games except for the finals we are going to predict. So that will be a little crazy to do as well. Um, because I will be on vacation for the next week and a half, and you know that if you watch all the podcasts, if you only watch Korea, then you might know I might have mentioned it last week. So we'll be doing week 10 today. So we'll be doing quick match history so we can get all the predictions in for week 10 as well as some hypotheticals for round 1, 2, and 3, which is so hard to do considering only one team is locked in so far. And because Korea goes in an order situation, so like finals is first place, second place, third place, fourth place, and fifth place is in the first round. Like it's gonna make for some very, very interesting predictions. So let's get right into the brief match history from week 9, and then we will go power rankings, predictions for week 10, and then solve the playoffs from those predictions, hopefully. And then through there, talk about playoffs, and then also some examples if our predictions are wrong, because two of the teams are not going to make playoffs. And out of the 7 teams remaining that can still make it. So 2 teams will be eliminated. Probably Kingzone's one of them, but we'll find out. All right. Game number 1 was Jin versus Kingzone, and Jin looked okay in this game. They looked okay, and that's always good to see from them. But then they threw it, so they looked like Jin like they always do, with an immediate throw around the Baron pit. Just give the Baron plus 3 deaths, and whoopsies, 5k gold lead goes down to a 1.5k gold lead, and then they immediately lose a bunch of towers, and the team fight a dragon, a bunch more towers. Oh, a big team fight loss plus an inhib, and that's GG. Jin lose. Surprise, surprise. Game number 2. Jin had another decent early start. They had 2 for 1. I believe they got first blood as well. Yes, they did. They got the first blood, 2 for 1. They got 2 kills in the bot lane while Rascal soloed Linderong in the top lane. Rascal kind of dominated Linderong all game with that Kled pick. It was very nice to Aatrox. And then after that, they took an air Drake. They got a few kills. They went 4 for 3. That's not the worst fight, you know. And then after that, they gave up every single thing for the rest of the game, except for 2 more kills. And that sounds very generic, like as always. So they went 0-2. Shocker. The biggest shock is they didn't go 0-4 this week. They went 1-4. But we'll talk about that coming up. Next was Damwon versus KT, and this is exactly what Damwon needed. Damwon coming off of 0-4 week last week, just completely knocked themselves out of first place and put themselves in danger of missing playoffs just because of how crazy the LCK is. Like, they were in first place for so long, just one bad week almost immediately kicks them out of playoffs. And this 0-2 or this 2-0 over KT was really what they needed. You had the This is what I love to see, by the way. You have the Alistair versus the Volibear, and the Alistair did his job way better than the Volibear did his job. And that is exactly the point. The point is, Alistair is the better version of support of Volibear. And I've been talking about that forever. I don't like Volibear, and I have a very good point to if you are on the Volibear support hype train, there's a point coming up that should just drop the mic on it. It should be dead. No one should be playing this anymore. But just wait for that. Yeah, it was a good game though from Nagri. Canyon pulling out the Talia jungle. We're starting to see a little bit more of that now. We haven't seen too much, but not. It's peeking its head out again. It's peeking its head out a little bit. And we had the ranked in top or mid. BDD actually I thought had a fantastic game on the Nico. He had some very clutch ults. Unfortunately, his team just wasn't there to help him out. And Nuclear and Nagri and Canyon were all way too fed. I'm sorry, I'm tired still. I've been tired all week. I've been tired all month, really. If you've noticed in the podcast, I've been yawning a lot more, I feel like, lately. But, vacation soon, so I can get work, no more work in my head, just all relaxation, hopefully. Next, Damwon did beat KT in a 2-0 here. This game, all Damwon in the whole game. KT really didn't stand a chance. They brought out the Sona Tom Kench, which is okay into Kaisa because of her short range and time to scale up. I think it's fine, but it just in this game it didn't work. They got killed in the bot lane. They gave the Kaisa 2 kills. I believe she only had 2 kills, but still she started the lane 2-0 by like 6 minutes, 7 minutes in the game. And if you're I know your whole point is just to survive, but they didn't survive, and that's the point. And the whole point of Kai'Sa is also to survive and scale to late game. And I think Kai'Sa just brings a lot more playmaking ability and can just instant pop people like Sono with her. Just one basically full burst combo will instant pop her. So before she can do anything, and she can use her ult and E to outmaneuver as well. Oh, you also had Nogri on Vlad, who is amazing as well. Who just bullied all the team fights with his doing Vlad things. Once you get that 3 item spike on Vlad, you're like, oh, he does 1 million damage to the entire team. Next, we had Afrika versus Sandbox, and I was really worried about this prediction coming in because this was going to be a very close match, I thought, the whole time. And then seeing how Afrika just absolutely stomped Sandbox in game number 1 here. They had the lead, as you can tell, the entire time, got the early first blood at 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Totally where it belongs in the graph right there. I'm never gonna get over that. That's how bad this graph lines up properly. We got, and then just every objective going Afrika's way. Sandbox's first kill to stop the perfect game against them was at like 21 minutes when instead they got a kill, but they gave up 3 kills in the Baron for it, so it was a major net negative. And then after that they got 1 tower when they gave up 3 towers and an inhib, and then they got an extra kill when they gave up all their towers and all their deaths. So they got that 1 extra kill and lost the game off of it. So this game was just straight all Afrika the entire time. Yukao on his Talia, nice to see as well. And then Aiming has had a very good game on the Kaisa, and Dread as well on the least. And he got the ball rolling very early by killing that by him and Yukal killing Jarvan early, and just he snowballed from there. I'm sorry, I keep yawning. I didn't realize I was that tired until just now. Next, though, was all Sandbox. This was, I believe it was this play, yes, I'll talk about that. But Dove and Ghost. Ghost got him rolling early, I guess you could say. Ghost got him rolling early where he got the 1 kill on the Nautilus, but he played this fight right down here so well, and he got hit, I believe, by Aiming's ult on Varus, but no, they wouldn't have had ult by. Maybe they. I don't. Shoot, I don't remember. I think he did get hit by Aiming's ult, but then because he was so far back, it was lucky that. And then Senin and Dread actually focused on Joker, and they killed Joker pretty immediately. But during that whole time, Ghost was just throwing axes into Dread. Dread took way too much damage, died to on Fleek. No, he died to Joker's ignite while Joker died, and then when he was running away, Joker had ignited him, died, and then on Fleek had jumped into this pit or into this battle, and then was able to take down Varus real quick because Varus had burned all of his cooldowns and was pretty much useless. And then Draven after that, when Senin tried to save Varus from on Fleek, he got himself caught out in position. Draven gets a kill, gets his stacks of adoration, and just walks away. Very happy man. Ended the game actually 11-2 because he got a quadra kill at the end. But Andy got triple kill and a quadra kill in the last two fights. Like that's all of his kill, and then he got an extra kill there. So eight. He looked like he was super fed. He didn't get fed really until about the 26-minute mark or so. Like once they got the Baron, and all those kills went over after the Baron went to Ghost. But the real fight I want to talk about was Dove right here in this fight, which is pretty much where the game ended for me. They're up 5K the whole time. They're up 6K honestly at the time of this fight, but it still felt like UCal and Aiming could have scaled up a bit, and even Keen. They had Aatrox, Azir, and Varus, and it felt like they could really scale up and actually win the game doing that. But they they didn't because Dove teleports. It's this fight right here with all these deaths, and Dove teleports on a fantastic ward, sitting in the wolf pit here. Was not spotted. Sandbox comes in through here, and just initiates the fight. Actually starts out pretty shaky as Summit blows up immediately. They Afrika with UCal and aiming just put all their damage right into Summit, pop him right away. But while that was happening, Ghost sent his ult in, and then like Summit had done like a few of his is that Q with ranked in, like when he does his like circle. But I don't think I've ever played ranked in. But yeah, so he there's a lot of AOE damage around there, so people on Afrika were jumping over this wall, and right in time for Dove to come in, instant pop Dread there, and then he just he got another kill on, I believe it was Senin, and then Keen, he got like a triple kill like right away at the. Or no, he didn't kill Keen there. Keen lived. He killed UCal and Senin just like right away, like right here and here. They just instant died. He had the triple kill, and then he was actually going in like 1v5 at the or 1v2 that was left, which would have been Keen and UCal. Was it UCal was left? Yeah, it was. I messed up that fight because it was UCal and Keen that were the last two survivors because UCal did the Shurima shuffle and or the and Keen or Dove just immediately zoned and they popped them there, and it was almost going to be an unofficial penta, but it wasn't because Ghost stole the kill. He got the triple kill and then he killed UCal, which it didn't count as a quadra kill, and then he killed Ghost killed Keen at the very end. But it was very. I just wanted to point out that teleport flank to come down here and enter the fight after the fight had been started right here. It was just so good. It reminded me of Bjergsen's Akali against C9 like last split. It was disgusting. Next game as well, Sandbox came in to defeat them. This one was a lot closer. It was not nearly as big of a blowout. This one was actually a pretty solid gold lead for Afrika by the 22-minute mark. They were winning. They picked the Leona into the Rakan. Unfortunately, it did not. I'm telling you, man. Every time I see this Leona into Rakan, it needs to get kills quicker. They did get the Rakan once at like 17 minutes or so, but outside of that, there was no kills on the bot lane. And there was one kill. I apologize. Rakan. Oh, right. Rakan was killed there around the 8 minute, but it was traded for the jungler, so it was really a net loss, like a net loss total overall. But yeah, they didn't really win the lane too hard with Kaisa and Leona falls off a lot harder than Rakan does. I think that was partial the reason. Also, you have AD Kennen, also not never been a fan of AED Kennen. I've gone on so many rants about it. I'm not going on another one. I think that Summit played really well on the Jace. I think Jace is just flat out better than AED Kennen did 12K damage. Come on. I mean, you barely split push with it. You lost by 500 gold. You only won 16 minutes. You could team fight better than Jace if you went AP, but no, you actually team fight worse than Jace, and you're not split pushing against them. Anyway, not talking about AD Kennen. AD Kennen makes me angry. We had Lich Bane Silas. Yay! And it won. Every time we see it, it always loses, and it makes me sad. And Dove pulled it off, and he became my favorite player of the entire split just by doing that. And that Akali player is nice too. He's not maybe not my favorite player of the entire split, but definitely one of my favorite players now, just because he put that in. It made me very happy seeing that. We had Sandbox. We had Ghost also. Oh, he also did a good game on the Zaya, but he didn't build the Lich Bane, so he's not important. Next was Griffin versus Gen G. First game was all Griffin, and they won with the Volibear, which was pretty impressive as well. But I can see Volibear being okay into the Yumi matchup, just because you only have one target to aim at. You only have to run at one specific person, so I get it a little bit in this matchup, but I still don't like it. I still don't like it at all. Um, just all around good game by Griffin, as you can tell. Genji was pretty much doing nothing. They picked the Lissandra, which is kind of weird. She's been out of the meta for a while, and it's not like picking her in the Jace is like a super counter. It's not like something like Zed or LeBlanc. So I didn't grade that. They maybe just wanted the two glacial type situation. That makes sense. But yeah, you also had AD Kennen going to AD Nico. I don't like either. I do like AD Nico better than AD Kennen, but man, I don't like play the AP champions AP. Like, goddamn people. Oh man. Dorn won the battle this time. But at least if you're going to go AD Kennen, at least out farm your opponent and have a 2K gold lead like he did. So I appreciate that much. Again, AD Kennen. Why is AD Kennen coming back? I don't like. It's one of my least favorite things in the game. Kennen is such a good team fighter, and just making him a split pusher. Go play a different split pusher. Go play a better one, like Camille or something. Like Jace, Jax, Fiora, anything. I feel like is so much better at split pushing than him. Aurelia. Kennen is for team fighting and for AP in my head. Maybe I'm just wrong. You know, maybe I'm just out of touch with the world. I've never ever liked it for years. I've been complaining about this, so I don't want to see it come back. I don't want to see it at Worlds, and it's gonna make me very upset. Also, we had Rich come in this game. On a positive note, Rich came in, and Rich won his very first game, and I was very impressed with that. He dominated Chovy with the Aatrox mid. Rich, if you guys don't know, is a StarCraft, I believe, a StarCraft player. If hopefully I'm not getting that wrong, but former professional StarCraft player, and he's transferred over to League now for Gen G, and he honestly looked pretty good. Not as much in the second game, but he went 0-4 on the ranked. But I thought that was more so Peanut going 0-6 and getting completely out jungled by Tarzan. I thought that was just immediately dying at 1 minute 40 seconds. I mean, that's not all his fault, obviously, but like, and then he died. He died in every single fight, which kind of makes sense as the Skarner. And when you're behind, you're kind of the front line, and you're kind of putting yourself vulnerable to take someone, suppress someone. But it was bad. It was bad. QV tried his best on the Vlad. How much damage did he do? He only did 11k damage. Wow. I guess he never got to the full. He got 3 items, but he never got that Rabadons. If he could have pulled off the Rabadons, maybe he might have been able to turn this game around a little bit. But outside of that, Ruler was also trying his best. Also, this Bloodthirster I've noticed is kind of weird on Ezreal, but I kind of like it. You get like so much with the 12% plus 20%, like 32% lifesteal with the Bladed Rune King Bloodthirster Ezreal. You're very very healthy. And then like so I'm kind of digging that. I've been noticing. I noticed Uzi took it one time as well. So I'm wondering. That's not too meta, I don't think. So we'll see if that catches on a little more often. Chovy, he was gonna build the Lich Bane. He was gonna build it, and that's all that matters. He was going to build it. That's why they won. See, that counts. That counts as a Lich Bane. We also had just Viper with the Quadra kill. Whatever. He wasn't building Lich Bane. Next, Hama Life versus SKT. What the hell happened to Hama Life? This is the team known as the Gatekeepers, and every single split, they always cannot beat any team that they are above them. Like, they can only beat the team below them, and that's fine. They usually finish in like 6th or 7th place and don't make playoffs, or they make playoffs in the early exit. But like, they always beat up on those low teams. Unfortunately for them, there's only 2 teams below them, and that's KT and Jin, and they're not beating KT. So really, they were only beating up on Jin until they beat Damwon last week 2-0. And then they're like, okay, we beat Damwon. They're like a top team. We could just beat SKT too, right? Khan had one of the worst Aatrox games I've ever seen. He got solo killed. Where was it? Yeah, he got solo killed early in the game, and it was just downhill from there. Like look at every single one of these picks is on Khan. So every time, except for this one right here and this one, But basically, from like the 10-minute mark on, every pick up until the huge Baron fight, which uh, Hamlin won, but they were up 5k gold, but they won the Baron fight off of 5 for 0. Or 5 for 1, sorry, for the Baron, which is an absolute massive take. But it was Khan getting picked out, Khan getting picked out, Khan dying again immediately after getting picked up, pretty much dying after spawn, and then Khan dying at the very end to lose the inhibs and lose the game. So this game was kind of on Khan. I mean, it was on the rest of SKT as well, and Faker didn't build the Lich Bane, so it makes sense that that's why they didn't win. Simple maths. Game number 2 was all about SKT coming back. Actually, Helm of Life, I was actually getting worried that Helm of Life. I'm like, okay, they might win the series, but they picked the Volibear. Went 0-5 again. I know why is Volibear this? It's gonna be a battle between Volibear and Kennen, AD Kennen, for my least favorite thing. Unfortunately, AP Kennen lost. It's like a Lich Bane Silas. I want it to happen, then it always loses and no one else picks it. But AP Kennen lost this game, but I don't think it was necessarily Kennen's fault too much. He, I think it was Bono. Bono did not have a good game in the jungle. When you get beat that badly to Clid and Clid's on Sidrawani and you're Trundle, it's not a good game. It's a 2k gold. It was a 4k gold lead in top lane, so I can't say it wasn't AP Kennen's fault. you got put in a bad situation, you know. Maybe it was AP Kennen's fault a little bit, maybe a little bit. Game number 3 though was all Hanwha Life for the most part. SKT had this little bit. It was close. It was a very close game, but Hanwha Life I felt like was always in control with the Yumi Lucian. That's what was really just controlling. They were bowling out Teddy in effort for sure on the Zyra. And Faker playing the Akali was okay, but the Corki is always a very good matchup into Akali, I think, just because you can poke her out a lane, and she no longer has the sustain from her Q that it's a tough lane for Akali's now. But eventually, Hanwha Life pulled it off by killing Faker and then being able to take the Baron. We also had Khan on the Quinn, which worked out actually very well. He's 4-1-1, and he actually had like the second most damage in the game outside of Corki. Very interesting to see the Quinn come up. We haven't seen many Quinns at all. But Quinn is pretty good in the Renekton because she can just knock him away whenever he dives in. You just Q off or E off of him and then Q and then blind him and then you just run away. So I can see it's definitely a counter pick that can work. And it's annoying in solo queue. It's just not very prevalent in professional. All right. This we had KT versus Jin. This game, massive blowout for KT. If you're getting blown out in 28 minutes, 29 minutes by 12k gold to KT, you know you're a bad team. And you should know because you are Jin. Nothing. I don't like this. I don't like talking Jin games too much, as you might know, because it's just big blowout. The only thing they got was a tower, an infernal, and 1 or 2 kills. But they give up 5 in process hand Baron. So they didn't really do much. Game number 2 though, they won. Jin now possibly they have more wins this year than they did last year, but they they have one game left and they haven't won a series yet. Last year they went 3-35. This year they are currently 4-34. So they need to officially have a better year. They need to beat Griffin in their final game of the year. But technically, game-wise, what's 4 divided by 40 percentage-wise? That's 10%, William. Why would I have to do the math on that? I don't know. I'm stupid. And 4 divided by 30, or 3 divided by 39, 7%. It was 39 games, right? So, no matter what, they are having a better year. They won 10%. No, 3 divided by 38. Wait, hold the phone. 3 divided by 38. Okay, that's still 7.8%. This is going to be 4 divided by. Let's make sure the math is correct before we make an assumption. This is going to be 4 divided by 40 once they lose. So that will be. Yep. No, 4 divided by. Yeah, 40. 10%. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, 5 divided by 41. That would be a 12% victory, so that's not bad. No matter what, they are going to have a better year with their solid 10% win rate. I know, guys. I know. Very solid. Coming off 7% win rate in spring, they won a whole 10%. 1 out of every 10 games. Jenner got you. God damn, I hate this team. They did win this game, though. They picked the Evelyn, and this is what I want to talk about. Volibear lost the game to Jenner. You picked the Volibear, you lost to Jenner. Should explain why Volibear support should never be picked again. If you pick it, you have the chance to even lose to Jenner. That's how bad it is. Don't do it. Stop doing it, please. Like, I don't know why it's. We don't see it in NA too. I don't even know if we've actually seen it in NA. I'm trying to remember. Have we seen it even in EU? I don't know. This is a China and Korea thing. This is like on the rage over here in the East, and I don't know why. It loses almost every game, and it doesn't. It's not a deciding factor in the games that it wins. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's working fantastic in scrims or something, but it's not working right now on the stage, I think. Next game, though, was KT beating Jenner after Jenner wins their game, and then they lose by 15k in a 35-minute game with 0 objectives taken for the entire game. Sounds about right. They got 5 kills. You know, progress, right? Please get relegated, please get relegated, please get relegated, please get relegated. I could nothing more I want right now. If you told me that I could get only one of Jin Air getting relegated and Team Liquid winning Worlds, I would say Team Liquid winning Worlds. No, that's a bad question. I don't even know how to put it. Okay, how about this? If you said that Jin Air getting relegated or having or Dominions Gaming pull the miracle run in the LPL, I would pick Jin Air getting relegated just so I don't have to watch them anymore. I hate watching them. Next was Griffin versus Kingdom. Griffin pulling out the fancy Kassadin. I like that Kassadin pick. You don't see it too often. It's a late game beast though, so that was actually pretty cool to watch. He went 1-1-3, but he did 7. Listen, cool to watch as in I like seeing Kassadin. It's 36-minute game. The issue with Kassadin is games don't last very long. So he was getting there. He almost had that Lich Bane. Once you get the Lich Bane, you need 4 items on Kassadin. You need kind of these. This is actually weird. I don't. Does Kassadin usually build Zonias? I don't think so. I know the Seraphs make sense, the Rod makes sense, the Lich Bane. I feel like Zonias is a little odd there by Chovy, but what do I know? Let's see. Let's go. Not a sponsor. I just use them. Kassadin. If I use them for everything, for my own league. I guess Zonias is a 4th item option. Interesting. I would. Yeah, look at that. A whole 6% differential in win rate on the Lich Bane. It seems like such a better option on Kassadin than Zonias. And then I would even take I'd take Zonias like 5th item's okay. 5th item is okay, but Rabadon's death cap for that extra increase is something I would do personally. I don't even play Kassadin. Kassadin was actually one of the first. I've never refunded a champion, or like I've never. Yeah, you get 3 refunds right. I've never refunded anything, but Kassadin was like the first person I almost wanted to refund because I got him like I got Malzahar, and I'm like, oh, Malzahar is like from the Void. Like, let's try another mid laner from the Void. I played Malzahar for like the first 2 years of League, and I'm like, oh, let's try Kassadin. I just hated it. I was so bad with it. I didn't like it. This was like, I guess this was right after he got gutted from his season 4, like 100% pick rate type situation. So this would have been like season 5, season 6 era. So that kind of makes sense why it was so bad at the time. But it was also me just being a silver scrub at the time as well. I didn't like him at all. So I guess I can't bring too much opinion in it, but this is about what I would expect is the Rod, the Seraphs, the Lich Bane is like the core 3 that I see on every Kassadin. So seeing that Zonia's on there before the Lich Bane Kind of confuses me. Either way, he didn't need to because Viper was popping off with massive 26k damage. Did three times much as over three times more damage than himself. So yeah, Viper just like yeah, don't worry. And that was against Deft and Tucson as well. Viper and the hands are, and honestly, Griffin as a team by themselves look pretty good this week. Pretty good last week as well. So they are on the up and up, which is very nice to see because I predicted SKT, Griffin, and Damwon to make worlds. I believe I've made that prediction last week, and seeing Griffin, it worried me because I said Griffin would make it through Gauntlet, and then I believe it was Ryan or Idol who said no, Gen G's gonna make it through Gauntlet, which is probably true. But if Gen G doesn't make playoffs, I don't think they make Gauntlet, right? They wouldn't have any playoffs this year. So it's always hard to keep up with 13 different leagues and all of their certain gauntlet rules. Sometimes they're a little weird. But I don't think Gen G makes playoff or gauntlet if they don't make playoffs. So that's going to be very important for them. Game number 2, by the way, was a massive blowout. So it's about as important as me talking about Gen G and the gauntlet. This was a 28-minute game. 28-minute game. 13k gold lead. Not even close the entire time, as you can tell. Next, we had Gen G versus Afrika, and Gen G game one. I was getting a little worried because I picked Afrika to win this one, and it was a close game. I mean, Afrika was kind of in the lead for the most part for the first 27 minutes the whole time, but it was never a significant lead by any means necessary. It was 22, or yeah, it was a 20. No, not a significant lead at all. It was only 22k. No, it was 2.2k, and then they lost because they had AD Cannon. That's what I'm gonna go with. No, they lost because they lost a massive team fight around the Baron. And was this the game? Yeah, they lost. This is where it started falling apart. I thought Afrika actually played really well all around that Baron pit. And then, unfortunately, they kept Peanut out of the pit. I believe Peanut was back here. They isolated him and killed him. They kind of forgot about the spellbook on Rakan. Rakan just comes up, life just comes up, smites the Baron, and walks away. And I'm like, oh, well, whoopsies. They forgot they had two smites. It's tough to track sometimes. It is tough to track. But you're a professional player, so you should be able to track it pretty well. Just saying. I'd let my team get a pass on it, but maybe not if you're a professional player. And yeah, from once they took that Baron, they were able to neutralize the game. So they because if Gen G gets that, or if Afrika gets that Baron, they pretty much can probably snowball, extend their lead, push out the towers that they were already pushing out, and because they actually did not have, they were actually down. No, they were basically tied in towers. There was 2-2 in towers at the time. I think. Let's see. Nope, it was 3-2. They were winning 3-2 in towers, but it was still anyone's game at that point. So losing that Baron really gave Gen G the chance to balance themselves back out, and they did. And then they were successful in the fact that they killed everyone and took the next Baron and the very next team fight. And Rich's Kiana was just blowing up Dread. Dread was just immediately dying all the time, it felt like, to Kiana's ult. So like Kiana would just sit in a bush and then press all of his buttons and then kill Dread. There's another one right there, as you can tell. And then I believe there was another one around here. Yeah, there's one right here and then one right there where the fight just starts with Kiana just eliminating Dread in like 0.1 seconds. And game number 2, though, Freaka came back. They picked the Trundle into the Sejuani, which I think is always a good, what's it called? Matchup. We had Vayne into the Sejuani and the Tahm Kench, and Karma, who's kind of a little bit tanky herself. And it's like I like the Vayne pick here. Vayne and the Ezreal necessarily. You didn't get any. Nothing happened. You had objectives being taken here. This was a very boring game by that stretch where it took like 25 minutes. This is what I don't get about Korea, and this is why I like the LPL so much. Is look at all these objectives. You got Infernal, you got Rift Herald, you got Dragon, you got a tower, Ocean Drake. All of that was taken without even the slightest contest of there was some contest on it, obviously, but there wasn't much enough that no one died type situation, where in LPL you just go in there, you just absolutely go in because you want to kill people. Like you want to make sure that people have to earn those objectives. You got to be able to step up to a team fight while you're doing an objective, and that didn't happen this game. And I've noticed that happens a lot in Korea. It's just the older style of playing this game. This game was only 5-4, kind of a slow, boring game. I mean, the game only took 31 minutes. So it wasn't necessarily a slow game, but it felt slow because there was no action outside of a few dragon takes here for the most part. But it was good. Amy had that one sick kill right there on the Sejuani. I thought, like when he got that last shot right, she went over the wall, made sure to get that last shot, and I was like, ooh, that feels bad. I've been on the receiving end of that before as a tank. It does so much damage. The third proc does so much damage to you. And finally, game number 3. It started out okay with Peanut, I believe, got first blood. Yes, Peanut got first blood on Keen. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not good for me because I thought that this was very important that Keen needed to win this matchup early as Renekton versus Kennen because Kennen's just going to be allowed to split push him and Renekton's going to fall off. Renekton's not a very good split pusher, in my opinion, especially late game. And especially when you had Renekton and Lee Sin, you have a lot of early game you need to make up quite quickly. You need to win this game quickly because you're gonna fall behind. And Ezreal, honestly, you outside of you have Corki scaling, but the rest, a lot of your team does not scale too well. Well, what they did is after that they gave up another kill, and Peanut was on to a great start at that 2-2. At that point, 2-0, and from the rest of the game, Gen G only got 1 kill and 0 objectives. This was all Dread and Dread's just map control, pretty much taking the Rift Herald, getting first tower, getting that Mountain Drake, getting Corki with the triple kill here by Yukao was quite nice. That was right there, and then we had all of those, like just tower after tower. They snowballed very effectively. They did what they needed to do with their draft. Like they drafted for early game. They caught Gen G trying to get a little too much scaling with the Kennen and Kennen Varus, and then they picked a Trundle, but they didn't really have a tank to really absorb too many stats from outside of Braum. When I mean Braum's tank item is a Glacial Shroud and a Null Magic Mantle, because Braum is a very squishy boy. you don't have the shield, you can pop Braum immediately. But yeah, that is all the predictions. So let's go into our power rankings, which we should have right here. Alright, yes. So nope, I lost it because I'm an idiot. There we go. Let's go to the power rankings for week 10. I had Sandbox moving up to number 1. Let's actually pull it over here like this. And this. Like that. No, it didn't work. How dare you. Okay, let's just do it like that. Okay, so we moved up Sandbox number 1. They had the victory over Afrika. So there was 2-1 over Afrika, and SKT's only game this week was a loss to Hanwha Life. Massive upset, so they had to drop from number 1 to number 2. And Sandbox, being the team that was on the winning side of their one matchup of the week, they got to move up. Damwon stayed the same, even though they won. They won their matchup against KT. KT's towards the bottom half of the. Oh, by the way, I apologize. I stopped at the top 7. Not gonna lie, I just saw that. But Hanwha Life, you beat SKT and Damwon. You're going. I don't care if KT beat you 2-0. I don't care at all. But yeah. I started at 7 and moved up. Damwon stayed the same. They beat KT. Not super impressive. KT looking like they might be going to relegations. So that's unfortunate for them for the second split in a row. And so that's 2-0. It's good for Damwon to stabilize after their 0-4 week last week. But it's still going to just keep them at 3rd. Griffin moves all the way up from number 6 to number 4 with their victory over Genji and Kingzone. That's 2 of the teams I can't say towards the bottom of the standings because Genji is literally 1 game away from being the best team in the LCK. Like, they're in 6, which out of 10, so they're in the bottom half, but that's how tight we are right now. And Kingzone's 2 games out of being first place team, and they're in 7th. So they're good wins by Griffin, and Griffin has completely turned the season around with 3 straight wins now, or is it 4? 4? No, 3. 3 straight wins now. And they had a tough game against SKT. That series could have really gone either way. So basically, since they got 2-0'd by Damwon on this July 20th, they've really turned the season around since the week 7. They feel like the not necessarily the Griffin of old that's dominating, but they've put themselves in position for an first place in the LCK, which I would have never guessed that after all of that. After if you would told me I'm like week 7, just like 2 weeks ago, that Griffin were going to be the team that actually come out on top with SKT on such a high and Damwon looking so good, then I would have thought you were crazy. But they've set themselves up very nicely. I still have them number 4 in the power rankings, but they should probably move up after this week when I mean, it's two weaker opponents, but they should be good. Next, we had Afrika drop to number 5 with their loss against Sandbox. And then their win against Gen G. That I just think Griffin moved up ahead of them, deservedly so. So it wasn't too much of Afrika's fault. They did their job with a 1-1 week. Gen G, on the other hand, dropped, I believe, 2 spots, and they actually lost to Griffin and Afrika, so they dropped all the way to 6. Kingzone, I had at 7 last week, so this should actually be a yellow. So I had them at 7 last week. They beat Jin Air, doesn't count as a win. It counts as a win, but doesn't count for moving you up at all in the power rankings. And they lost to Griffin 2-0. So still, Kingzone is looking very shaky, and I don't think they'll make playoffs at all. I think they're the easy ones out. Hanwha Life upsetting SKT, fantastic. Moving on up after you upset Damwon as well. KT, you lost to Damwon, and you beat Jin Air. Woo, you lost the game to Jin Air, though. That's a win for KT, but it's a negative in the power rankings because you lost the game to Jin Air. And Jin Air still stays at number 10 because it's Jin Air. Look at the idiot here. What idiot? What an idiot. Week 2, I picked Jin Air to win a game. Shame on me, right? they're going to go 0-18 this year. But with that, let's actually go to our predictions. And spoiler alert for one of them, I know, shocking. But SKT versus Damwon, this is going to be match of the week on the very first game. This is the first game of the week, and it's going to be the best one. SKT versus Damwon, I think these are two of the strongest teams in the league with number 2 and 3. I think only Sandbox can actually... Oh, we have Sandbox versus SKT. SKT is a damn hard... Damn. Wait a minute. I haven't done my prediction chat. I was going to do them live because this is so interesting. Because every team is so close. Actually, no. There is a legitimate, real possibility that SKT does not make playoffs. That is insane after that such a miracle run that it all falls apart. Let's see. How did they do against Damwon? First time, did they beat them? Probably not. I would guess no. They beat. It was a 2-1 situation. I am gonna go with the way Khan performed last week against Hanwha Life. like it's not like Hanwha Life with Solion is going to is not a powerhouse. Nogri, on the other hand, is one of the best top laners in the entire world. So I was actually thinking about doing. I knew that Damwon was facing SKT. I forgot that SKT was facing Sandbox. Now I'm worried. I was just gonna assume SKT was gonna win the second game and make the playoffs still. But yeah, Damwon, I think Damwon is going to beat SKT 2-1. I think that Faker carries them through, or even Teddy at one point. But Nuclear's had a good year, but Showmaker's good too. Yeah, I think it's a 2-1 for Damwon. I really do. And I think that's mostly because of the weakness of Khan up top, which, I think Nogri is just going to snowball into Khan really hard. And SKT really needs to bring Klid up top a lot to try and stabilize that lane, because if they don't, it's going to be messy for them. Sandbox versus KT. KT is dead in the water. They're tied with Hanwha Life, 5-11. So Hanwha Life, and do they have the match over? I know they won once. They went 1-1. Did Hanwha Life, when Hanwha Life beat KT, they 2-0'd them. Don't know how the rest of that tiebreaker go. Oh, Hanwha Life would win the tiebreaker because they're most likely. They have 2 games against Afrika, and KT has 2. If they tie, Hanwha Life will most likely. They're 3 games up on KT, wins loss type situation. So I would guess that. How do they? Oh, KT's. When Hanwha Life wins, they usually win 2-0. God, I'm like, how do they have 25 losses? Shouldn't they only have 22 losses? But yeah, okay. Got it. Yeah, Hanwha Life will probably win the tiebreaker over KT, depending on how that's Top five, bottom two teams show tiebreaker rules. Two teams the same record, game record. Teams get 1 point for one game, one loss for team with no more points. Tie points are tied. Ties are broken by head to head. If teams still tie, they'll play a tiebreaker match. Actually, they might play a tiebreaker match. Interesting. Okay, maybe that'll be the case. I thought it would have been game situation, but we'll find out. It's not that important. It's relegations, and it's probably gonna be KT. But I think Sandbox wins this one 2-0 because Sandbox is going to be playing for a hell of a lot to try and seal that first place still, as they are currently tied with Damwon and Griffin for the first place slot. Also, does anyone know why Griffin at 11-5 has sealed first place or sealed the playoff spot, but Damwon and Sandbox haven't? I was trying to do the math on it. It must be some very, very complicated like tiebreaker situation where Griffin wins every tiebreaker scenario, because like shouldn't they could technically finish seventh still at, or like if Kingzone wins two games and like this two one win type situation. I don't know if that's possible. Let's see. Let's try and do the math super quick. SKT can win a game. Check. Afrika or Kingzone can win a game. Kingzone can only win one game, so they can't actually reach Griffin. But Genji still can with one win. Yeah. So Griffin goes 0-2, and Genji and Afrika win a game, and KT win a game. I don't know. Or SKT win two games. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird to me. They must win the tiebreakers. Or the committee noticed that Griffin's playing Janair next game, and they're like, well, they count those they count those as automatic wins. That might be the reason. They count that Janair as an automatic win for any team, so like, well, Griffin is going to be at 12, and 12 will seal you in the playoffs. So that's going to be 2-0 for Griffin. That's the simple way to look at it instead of all the complex tiebreakers. They're facing Janair. That's all there is. So Griffin has really set themselves up for a solid run for the first seed, and that first seed, getting the first seed will automatically qualify them for Worlds, no matter what. Right? Have to be. It'd have to be 2 seconds, and maybe if SKT gets like a third and they lose the final game, but I would assume that Griffin gets in there by points if they're the first seed again. I would assume that would automatically happen. Afrika versus Halma Life. This is a tough one because Halma Life is looking hot right now. But I'm going to give it to Afrika just because I feel like all these teams in the top 7 are playing for so much that I give them an advantage over the bottom 3 in these games. Just because it's do or die for all these teams. So I'm going to give Afrika 2-1. I think Halma Life, they're playing really good right now, and I think they will take at least one game. Kingzone versus KT, same thing. I know Kingzone looks terrible right now, but they're playing for their life. Maybe the rumors of them, the whole situation with their whole like internal issues, possibly, yeah. But I think the players still want to try and make playoffs, and they'll beat KT. KT's not playing for anything. Sandbox versus SKT, man, I gotta check this one as well. This is worrying me now because I think Sandbox 2-0'd them last time. That was in week 2. It was back when SKT was struggling. But let's see. Summit's pretty good. On Fleek, pretty good. Dove, pretty good. So is Faker though. Ghost and Joker. I'll give this one to SKT. I think SKT will be able to take down Sandbox and keep the. They'll be battling because Sandbox will be battling for that first place spot. SKT will be battling for a playoff spot at this point because at this point, Afrika will have passed them with the win according to my predictions, and so SKT would be in 5th place, the bottom of the playoffs, and the only team that they would have to be better than is Genji, who they actually have the tiebreaker against. So that if they don't win this game, Genji would just have to win their one game, which is against Damwon, which is also tough. So SKT's probably in the playoffs, but yeah, I have SKT sealing it for themselves at a 2-1, and because they seal it, Genji will lose all motivation to play because Genji, I would assume at that point, would be eliminated from the gauntlet. Is that how it works? I don't know. When's the regional finals? Is that it? Yeah. The 2nd through 5th ranked teams, yeah, they won it. Championship points. Let's see. Yeah, they'd be at 0. So you'd have these two teams, 3, 4, 5. Second, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Gen G would not make the gauntlet if they lose. And if wow, Gen G's probably not making the gauntlet. Wow, that's good for the rest of the league. And good for viewing pleasure of Worlds because Gen G, they're good, but they're very boring. Yeah, so I got Damwon winning that 2-0 because Gen G will be crushed. They'll be out of the playoffs and out of the gauntlet, so nothing left to play for on the season. And then after that, we'll have Griffin sealing first place with their win against Hama Life in a 2-1 victory. I give Hama Life 2 wins this week, but no series wins. And Griffin, out of nowhere, comes back and takes first place to seal. They will seal. Let's actually look at that again. Championship points. Griffin currently has 70. They've sealed at least 20, and they would get 90 there. So what's 70 plus 90, and then team that get the most assumptions. Yep. So Griffin gets first place. They automatically make Worlds, no matter the outcome. No, there is not a situation Griffin does not make Worlds if Griffin beats Jin Air. I know, tough guys. If they beat Jin Air and Hama Life, that Griffin makes Worlds. So this is more important than the actual playoffs for Griffin. So hopefully they don't choke this away because they do that. They get first place by themselves. They get Worlds, and everything is all good for them. The rest of the teams, they've all sealed at least third through six. Qualify the regional finals. Yep. Okay. So, with that, let's go to our playoff predictions. So, let's actually bring up a hypothetical standings here real quick. We're just gonna say Griffin will be 1 at Griffin, 2 Damwon, 3. Like, I'm just we can rotate these around in a second. 5 AF, 6 Gen G, 7 KZ. Okay, so we have Griffin being 13-5. We have Damwon winning both their games, so they are going to be 13-5. We have Sandbox winning 1, so they will be Sandbox would be 12-6. We have SKT winning 1 game, so they'd be 11-7. Afrika winning 1 game, so they'd be 11-7. And Gen G winning 0, so they'd be 10-7 at 6, so they'd be eliminated. And Kingzone only wins 1, so they'd be 10-8 as well. So they'd both be 10-8. So we're thinking that if my predictions are correct, the playoffs are going to be Griffin number 1, Damwon number 2, Sandbox 3, SKT 4, Afrika 5. That's Afrika have. Head-to-head. Points, game-wise. Yeah, SKT would automatically win over points, and Griffin would also win over points. Okay, so good. We're good in positions. So we're going to go off of that for our predictions for the summer. So the first game, according to our predictions, is going to be SKT versus AF/Gen G /Kingzone. None of them, I think, are going to beat SKT in the playoffs. I'm just going to come out and say that right now. So first round, SKT will beat any of those teams. So I'm actually going to say all those teams, any of AF/Gen G /Kingzone out in round 1. I think SKT would move on to round 2. So I think SKT would beat Sandbox. So Sandbox / round 1 eliminations. I think Damwon would take down SKT in round 3. And I think Damwon would take down Griffin in the finals. I have Damwon winning. Well, delete the finals one because we will have a podcast for the finals. We don't need to go that far. Finals will be on August 30th, and we will be back August. We'll be back August 27th, so we will be back in time for that one. So for sure, at this point, my prediction is simply I think that the finals is going to be Damwon versus Griffin. I think that SKT will move out of round one against any of Afrika, Genji, and Kingzone, doesn't matter who. And I think that after that, SKT will beat Sandbox and put Sandbox down in round two again for the second year in a row, I believe, right? That's where Sandbox failed last time. No, Sandbox lost in round one to Damwon. Got it. Okay. But yeah, and I think that Damwon, I think, will be able to take down SKT. I think it's going to be the Nogri factor, and I think this is going to be the year. Damwon automatically qualifies. Griffin automatically gets there by points as well, and SKT will probably win the gauntlet. So they will be, which is unfortunate for the other Worlds teams that will have to face SKT in the early rounds. The Russian teams and the Korean, or the Korean team, the Brazilian teams, all the wildcard regions will probably in this scenario have to face SKT in the early rounds. And that's not what you want to do if you're one of those teams. But anyway, that will be the podcast today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're almost done for the entire year. We just have a few more. We won't have podcasts next week, but the week after that, we'll pretty much just be wrapping up podcasts, finals predictions, stuff like that. And then we'll just have Worlds. And then after that, we will finally have free time to update the whole podcast I wanted to update this year. We were never able to do because we only had that 1 week break between MSI and Summer Split. There was a 2 week break for the professionals, but we had to do the preseason predictions and week one predictions, which had to happen the week before they started. So we only had that 1 week break there, and yeah, so outside of that, never had the time. So I really want to. I'm gonna actually buy and download Photoshop and try and do it myself, and hopefully it comes out well and it comes out looking good. So that's down the road. That's later in November. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for our LMS. I think we're predicting all of the LMS playoffs. I don't remember for sure, but we're for sure doing at least the first 2 3 rounds. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you there. Good night.